Here is a replica of the Etowah ancient Indian city. Now there were about 6 major mounds. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to show you a little bit in this museum. I did find some very interesting things. I'll talk a little bit about the DeSoto expedition. And then they talk about everyday life and some of the ceremonial axes. And the cult leaders would do mock battles as part of their rituals. And here are some of these interesting gorgets. Some of their weapons. Now, you can see some remnants of that. Not much of it's left, but it looks like it's got a snake on it. And they did some kind of a chunky game. It says a ritual contest played in the plaza. In the game, one player bowled a chunky stone while another threw a spear where he thought the first player's chunky stone would stop. Now this is interesting. It's a replica, a large-scale replica, one of the gorgets. Here are some of the pipes and other items found in some of the burial mounds. Now, take a look at that. Copper plates depicting the 4 winds. Looks like a swastika version. Human head. Unfortunately, the light's out, but these are a bunch of copper pendants, and I'd love to see what's on them. I'm going to see if I can get them to fix this so I can see, but they're decorative copper pendants, and I just can't see what's on them because it's dark. Over here, interesting mask, the Horned Man again. They're beads. And then those were ingots that they wore in the hair, the eagle bean. Okay, now over here is statues. I believe these were found in the mounds. 125-pound figures were chip carved ground and polished without iron or steel tools. They present good evidence of the hairstyles, dress, red and blackish face, and ear painting that we would not have without their existence. So they're effigies found here at Etowah. Now what's interesting is they did a replica of a burial, and this person has red hair or painted hair. And as you'll see that they had red ochre paint, and gathered some food, did some agriculture. Some of the pottery. You can barely see that. Probably in a spiral shape. Here's some more of it. A lot of times you can see some of the design. Look at that. It's a Celtic cross. That's a Celtic cross on their pottery. What's left of it. Now, over here, let me turn this, you can see some of this red ochre. And it says several ground stone paint palettes were found in excavations. Each one traces of minerals such as graphite and red ochre. And they still use, it's still used for paint today. What is most interesting over here are just some origins of the Mississippian culture, different things, but look at that. That's a Triask. I just find it hard to believe they just happened to come up with something similar out of Europe. And the snake. Various things. Yeah, these were traded. But let's look at that again. Look. Okay, really. The symbols are there. And that concentric circle as well, and that pottery that's left. And here they're telling you where the metals and rocks that they valued were found. Shell, ochre, copper, flint, more copper up north, salt, asphalt, and obsidian. Look at that, obsidian's over, you know, in that northwest area. And then lastly, here's some figurines found in the Mound Sea of the people. And there is that sloped head and that the nose, the Mediterranean nose. There's an interesting one as well. But they present it as looking like that. I mean, the guy doesn't even have the nose that's on this figurine or the head shape. Look at that, it's completely slanted back. It does say a flattened skull was a mark of beauty or rank. The deformation of the skull done in infancy, while the bones were still soft, produced no ill effects. Yet the artist's representation doesn't have that. It doesn't represent what's shown here. Okay, I'm going to go outside now.